Welcome to fourth quarter. I have my notes here that I'm reading for you today. Today I'm going to give you some reminders, do a review of your last homework, and make you recall a little bit about your upcoming assignment, the one on the Great Explorers. Reminder, first of all, you can turn in any missing assignments until midnight tonight. So check out the distance learning assignments and submit them. Earlier assignments you could take a photo of and share it with me. Make sure you get those in by midnight tonight, and then I will put them into your grade. Also, guys, be sure for all of the distance learning upcoming to check the agenda before doing anything else, and encourage everyone in class to do the same if you're checking in with them on Google Hangouts or FaceTiming them or whatever that you might be doing, because I know you have a million different ways, Snapchat, to connect with people. So then I want to go to a review of the Age of Discovery textbook assignment. Remember, please write in sentences unless the assignment asks you to do something different, and make sure that you answer all the questions. A few of you only answered part of a question. You might be two parts to answer, and you might only have answered one part. So be sure to read the questions carefully and answer all parts of all questions. So your first question for this was look at Portugal on the map and talk about why Prince Henry the Navigator, King Henry the Navigator, chose to make a school for sailors in Portugal. And I included a map link for you. The partial answer was because Portugal is situated right there, has a lot of coastline right there on the Atlantic Ocean, making it a perfect place to establish a school for navigators. Some of you said that. And then, of course, also, like the textbook said, to explore Africa's west coast. A big shout out to Bennett for having the great answer of Portugal is right on the edge of the water, making it a good Portugal. Love that, Bennett. Way extra credit for that one. That was good. Pun intended. Well done. The second question I want to go over is about number 2. Who paid for Columbus's journey, and why was it both a success and failure? So who paid was Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain funded his journey. Some of you remember that from the speech I gave as Queen Isabella when we gave our Renaissance speeches. It was a success because it opened up the New World to Europe, or what Europe would perceive as the New World. Here's a little illustration here which shows where he might have landed. In your textbook, if you look at the link to the textbook access on page 367, you'll see a picture. They think he might have landed in the Bahamas. No one's really sure. In a place called Samanas Cay. It looks beautiful, so a great place to visit. In any case, these are journeys that they think he might have taken his possible route here on the map that you see. It was also, of course, a failure because he did not reach India, a short route to India. Instead, he discovered, new whole, he came upon the Americas, and then again, everything changed from that point on. The Columbian Exchange, all those things we've talked about earlier. The next question I wanted to talk to you about is number 4, which was about the Treaty of Tordesillas. And that treaty, again, made this line of demarcation, and everything east of the line was for Portugal, and everything west of the line would belong to Spain. This line that you see on this side was decided upon later. Of course, anything that was already known as a European Christian country was exempt from this division. It's interesting that Spain and Portugal had the ego to decide that they could divide the world up between those two states. Interesting. Those two countries. So a lot of ego going on there. In any case, they both Portugal and Spain pretty much adhered to this agreement that was sanctioned by the Pope of the time. However, the other European countries largely ignored it. There's more on that we can learn at a later point. It's kind of an interesting thing if you want to do a little research on the internet about this treaty, those of you that are history buffs. Let's see. The last question I just wanted to heads up about, number 5, it asked you to describe 3 major effects of European exploration, which were discussed in the textbook. Some of you only gave 1, and so that was something of a concern. So something to think about for that. All right, there's a huge shout out to Aurea for writing her answers using blue text. She changed the text color of her answers to blue, and it really made the answers stand out. And I suggested that to a few people who didn't answer all the questions because it might help you see which questions you've answered and which questions you haven't. So Aurea, thank you for that. Great, helps everybody. Finally, for today, please recall that it's time to work on that Great Explorers project. Most of you I know are working digitally. There is also an option to work non-digitally that was posted on an earlier agenda. Either one is fine. Please look on today's agenda for how to submit your assignment. All right, sounds good. Have a great day.